Welcome to Cover Story. Well, this week we have with us Captain Amarinder Singh, former Punjab Chief Minister. He's also the Congress face of the comeback in Punjab. But more importantly, he's also an ex-army man. And today we're going to be talking to him about his take on the surgical strikes and the events after that. Welcome to NewsX, Captain Saab.
Thank you.
First of all, sir, there has been a lot of conflicting voices within the Congress in the reaction to the surgical strike. You have DGMO Singh, Sanjay Nirupam actually saying, hinting these could be fake. They're asking for proof. Are you standing with them in this?
Look, I'll tell you one thing. I'm a soldier.
Yes.
And if our DGMO has come on the television and he's made a clear statement that this is our reaction to what they did to us in Udi, and that we have hit their terrorist camps across the border, I go by what the DGMO says. The DGMO is not going to play politics. Army is a very straightforward organization. We say what we do, but we don't need to justify to people. Like Kejriwal is demanding justification. Yes. Who is he to demand justification? He looks after his own business and let the army do its own business.
Well, the stand that they've taken, the Congress has taken, is that we've done 3 surgical strikes at least, but we never went tom-tomming it,
Correct.
politicizing it, publicizing it.
Why are you publicizing it? I want to know that. What's the necessity? General Bikram Singh on the television that they said, I did one when I was there. This is an ongoing process. You remember when they cut 2 heads of our boys?
Yes.
And when we cut their heads also.
Hmm.
So these things happen. These things, quid pro quos go on all the time. We are not going to take anything lie down. If they cut 2 of our heads, we must have cut 6 or 8 of theirs. So these sort of things happen. And it's for the army to keep that. You've given the task to the army to look after the borders and to look after the security of the country. Then let them get on with the job. Why should politicians stick their nose into everything?
Because they are justifying it, Nirupam and Digvijay, saying that Pakistan is saying if strike hui nahi hai, so let's nail that lie by giving them proof.
We believe what Pakistan is saying. I mean, you never believe it otherwise, but why? How come you believe it in this? Because you want to create some sort of a controversy. What is Pakistan is saying? I've seen that CNN survey which came on the Facebook, which survey नहीं उनकी जो फौजियों को ले गए थे जर्नलिस्टों को up to the Pakistan area. How do you know that that's a camp that was struck? That was a military camp. They never struck a military camp. They struck launch pads, which we call forward assembly areas. They attacked them. They never showed any launch pad. They showed a lieutenant general announcing things from some military post. That is not the answer. And then what do they show? They show Indian soldiers lying wounded and saying, "Aye, pani do," all that sort of thing. All dramas. Put our uniform on their men. Because, very interestingly, as that tape comes to an end, you see one of these Indian Army smock people. They wear khakis, we wear the camouflage smock. A man is standing with a weapon. So it's obviously their own chaps. You think they're going to allow Indian soldiers to carry weapons after they have taken a particular post? So it's all dramas. It's all Pakistani soldiers dressed in our uniforms, and they're making a big hoo-ha out of it to justify it to the international press. So
people should not fall into this trap, whether it's Kejriwal or whether it's even some of your own colleagues.
It's foolishness. Get on with your job of running Delhi. Keep dengue and chikungunya and all these drug addiction under control. You let the army do its own job.
Okay, the second thing is also, I believe you've been touring the border areas of Punjab, where villagers have been asked to evacuate. What have you found out from your trips there?
No. First, let me go a bit back. We've had 5 major conflicts or attempts at conflicts. You had brass tacks and Prakram. We had moved into our forward assembly areas, ready to go, and it was last minute stopped. You come in, your army deploys in their concentration areas, moves through the assembly areas, moves to the forward assembly areas, and are launched. You lay your mines, you got your guns out, you got your tanks in the position, you got the whole works, the infantry holding whatever it's supposed to, so you have your holding corps. The 11 corps is a holding corps, 10 corps is a holding corps. I toured from Khemkaran yesterday right up to Amritsar. I never saw one soldier in olive green there. BSF is doing their job, and I saw Punjab police hanging around the villages. But there was not one green soldier. All your formations are in their, your strike corps are in their locations. Your holding corps are in their, they are playing volleyball. Patiala one, I was crossing and the soldiers are playing basketball. I mean, this is all going on. So what are you making a fear psychosis all about? It's all politics. I think they want to show their great strength in what they have achieved for the UP elections or something, and trying to consolidate on a communal basis people. But it's a great tragedy. Because we've evacuated over 1,000 villages. People, they haven't evacuated. Let's say the orders were out for 1,000 villages to go. People have their crops which they are harvesting.
Right.
The early crop has come, the satti which we call it. that's being harvested. Then you got the regular chona which is coming up. After that you get the basmati coming up. You will be harvesting for the next 3 to 4 weeks. So I met a whole lot of them yesterday. Nobody's moving. They are there. And the strange part is the Punjab police is standing there and saying, Hukam hai, nikal jo bahar. And Mr. Prakash Singh Badal has today announced that the border school kholenge. So who's going to go to your border schools if the villages are out? Because he knows that the villages are not moving. They don't bother about it. They don't listen to him. 3 days ago he tried to go through Punjab and they booed him out. They wouldn't let him speak in the villages. So this is the sort of scenario that's developing.
So the situation is not so tense on the borders.
You must remember that there are 3 lakh ex-servicemen in Punjab. They have all come from the background of soldiering. They've all been through Prakram or Brass Tacks or 65 or Kargil or 75, one. They know that what happened. And in those days, we never moved out. How come when there's nothing happening, you are moving your villages out? This is obviously political motivation of some sort.
You don't think there's an actual need, a threat perception?
Absolutely. Pakistan,
the Home Ministry said there is a
Pakistan
threat
are sitting in their barracks. We are sitting in our barracks. If Pakistan moves that much, your satellites and your intelligence agencies will tell you exactly what's happening. And then
but they failed to tell Ori was not predicted. Baramulla, we just had a recent escalation.
Little raids are a different matter. These are basically surgical strike. They call it, it's a new terminology which the army is using, but we call them raids. In our time, it was a raid into Pakistan, raid into Uri, raid here, raid there. They were done by these things, these happen. But these are little things can happen all the time. They are crossing people into our Kashmir. That's a sort of and then the army meets them. It's a counter operation for their to check this thing. But in the case of when an army moves, can anything be hidden? Within 1 minute, your satellites will pick it up. Americans will pick it up. Russians will pick it up, and immediately they'll start having calls. What happened in Brass Tacks? It was basically American pressure which called it off. Otherwise, you were set to go. The all clear had been given and they would have moved out from there, which we call forward assembly areas, are what you call launch pads nowadays. And from there, from the forward assembly areas, next stage is go. So that sort of what I'm trying to say is that these things you cannot hide. This is obviously, armies are at peace and Punjab is evacuating for whose benefit? For political benefit.
So you are seeing this heightening, this post-strike, all the narrative that is being heightened. Some of it is for political benefit. For
some 100%, which is not for political. No, I'm not talking about the one there. What the army did there is absolutely 100% correct.
But even you'd been saying retaliatory moves should happen.
I think if they do this to us, and if our boys are being killed, then they should go and doubly kill them. I mean, kill twice the number. That's what I mean.
So you approve of the strike, but you don't approve of the publicizing it afterwards.
No. I'm saying this, yes, because this is the job given to the army. If they've done something, but that was, you played up the killing of Uri so much, which is a correct thing, where our boys of 10 Dogra and 6 Bihar were killed. That is correct. 18 men killed and 68 or something wounded. And it was right for the press to pick it up. And therefore, because the country wanted to know what are you doing.
Yes.
So when they carried out that strike, they had to publicize it to neutralize that effect. But that is the army. Leave it to the army to do. The DGMO is your man who looks after all the operations in the whole Indian army, right from A to Z. He's told you the facts. Matter is closed. And I think they did the right thing to do this. But utilizing that issue to create a war psychosis, when there's no war, when your armies are living in their barracks and they're enjoying their peacetime life, even as, for instance, your leaves are not been cancelled. Nothing has happened. In 65, I was there.
Yes.
The moment that we were decided that war was to be launched, letters were sent out and men were asked to report within 24 hours. The soldiers, officers, men. Now there's nothing. And everyone sitting in their peacetime locations, and you're creating a fear psychosis on the border for what purpose? Obviously for some purpose, and that is politics. Your elections around, not in Punjab, is not going to help. Punjab, if anything, it will put Mr. Badal in a more ridiculous position than before. But over there, yes, in UP, you got close fights going on. And he wants to polarize communally. That's all Mr. Modi wants to do.
But see, a lot of people are saying that, you can't be caught napping also. So this is, in terms of safety and precautionary measures.
How do you first meet? From the peace stations, orders go out, right? From there you go move to your concentration areas, which are designated concentration areas. Then you move to your assembly areas. Then you move to your forward assembly areas, and then you launch. So at the moment you haven't known, everyone's carrying on normal peacetime routine in our place. If Pakistan had mobilized and were moving, in 2 minutes you would get the order to move.
So
Or if we were moving, they'd get the order to move. But nothing is happening.
So as a former army man, what should the next step be? We've retaliated, we've done the surgical strike.
Yeah,
Now
if they come
what
again,
should
then you attack again.
There is a
You
suggestion.
can't take any nonsense in Kashmir. I think one is, of course, dealing with this cross-border terrorism, which we are dealing effectively with, and we should be even more effective. And we should send the message across that if you do this, you have had it, chaps. And we'll do it twice as much to you. If you kill 2 of my men, we'll kill 10 of your men.
Are you satisfied with the kind of message we have sent so far?
Yes, absolutely. I think the army is absolutely forceful on it. Let them do the job. Don't use the army politically. I think that is completely wrong.
Okay, but after that, what should we do? People are saying that go after Hafiz Saeed, go to the Jaish Mohammed base.
Can you do it? Can you send that's
a
sort of your
covert op, a
clandestine.
special op, the
That
way
is the job of your
America did with
clandestine services. You can't think commando Ghatak platoon of a battalion or your special forces are going to go and catch the joker sitting in Islamabad or sitting in Karachi or wherever. That's not the job of the army to do. What have you got your clandestine services? What is RAW doing? What is IB doing? What are all these intelligence agencies doing? That's their job, not the army. A soldier fights as a soldier. He knows that whatever in front of you is my dushman. But in the clandestine services, you have to look all around what's happening.
So
It's their job to do it.
how do you find the morale of the army? You've been also interacting.
Top class. Army is top class. And I think after that strike in this Kashmir area, I think the morale would be even higher. And that was the most important thing, is to keep your soldiers' morale high. Now, while we are talking morale, also it's getting affected by this 7th pay commission and this 1 rank, 1 pension and all. Don't do that, because the only good force that you have, an effective force that you have, and a force that can is perhaps the only one we have in this country, which is highly nationalistic, is the army. So give them what they are, keep their morale high, and let them do their job.
Okay. A little bit away from the surgical strike to the ground situation in Punjab. You know, we've seen the Aam Aadmi Party making a huge bid. Are they eating into the anti-Akali vote? Are you worried?
Aam Aadmi Party? No, I don't. I'm not worried about Aam Aadmi Party. You know, you must remember in 2014 when the parliament elections came, it was a surprise to all of us. We didn't realize that it was not a party, it was a movement. It was an anti-establishment movement which came to the fore. Like in Patiala, we lost Patiala by they took 3,25,000 votes. But, and in Patiala city, which was my seat, I had to resign after I won in Amritsar. Praneet fought that by-election, and she won that by, she had won the earlier one, though she lost the parliamentary seat, but she had won it earlier by 4,000 votes a city. This time she won it by 24, and Aam Aadmi Party in Patiala city lost its deposit. So that was a peak, and I think it's dissipating after that.
What about Sidhu? You know, he said, I don't mind joining the Congress, but without Captain as
thank
the
you very much.
CM face.
He likes to, he's very, he doesn't mind joining the Congress. That's a very arrogant statement to make.
And that was my interpretation of his words. But he's indicated that he would join, but he has, I believe, laid this precondition that without you as a CM.
Well, we know where those preconditions come from and who brings them out, and we know the whole thing, the background. But yes, if Sidhu wants to join unconditionally, which people are joining unconditionally, and they will more will be joining in due course. Yes, the Congress will take them, but a 120-year-old party, which has brought this country got its independence and all, is not going to be dictated to by Mr. Sidhu or anybody else.
Anybody else I'm very interested in, because we know that there is Mr. Bajwa who is behind this. He's been...
No, I don't know about that, but I'm saying, I can tell you, I'm talking about other people who are going to join. Anybody else, that's what I mean, that there are going to be other people who are going to come, but everyone unconditionally.
But what about you yourself? You know, the Rahul Gandhi is yet to announce you as the CM face. You are the face of the campaign. You are spearheading it. The votes are in your name.
You are saying the whole thing. That means I am the face of the campaign.
Why is he so hesitant to announce?
You know, because you don't. You look at the history of the Congress. Except for last time, they announced me 1 week before the campaign ended, and I thought that was a bit too late. Since then, regional parties have developed. You've got regional parties in all the states, and if everyone knows who that person is, then obviously they are going to want to know who is the Congress face. So in due course, let that happen. I'm sure the Congress party will do it. But why is everyone, clubbing us? Because we have a certain system of working. But if we have to change that system, the Congress president and vice president will decide when to do what.
The history of Congress, but also history of your and Rahul's relationship. How is that now?
Very good. Excellent.
There is.
Yes, absolutely.
Because some people are saying also that he's still not sure. He wants to keep all the factions happy. You have...
Which are the factions in Congress?
Bajwa
Everybody. Bajwa is not a faction. Bajwa is an individual who has his own views. And he can have, everyone is entitled to their own views. I don't have to agree with Bajwa. He doesn't have to agree with me. That's his business. But we don't have factionism. Like you don't say that today there's a huge big A group or B group or C group. They're just, the Congress is going about its business. Today we have never been as united as we are. Today the entire Congress is out in the field in that Congress Express which is going on. I am doing Halke with captain. I am doing the border areas. I am going to go live there for 5 days now to show solidarity with the people there. That there is nothing going on. So these sort of things go on. So there's nothing like that. The Congress party is totally united and fighting for.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk to the captain about his campaign for the Congress in Punjab. Welcome back to Cover Story. We are in conversation with Captain Amarinder Singh. So before the break, you were talking about what you're going to be doing. You said you're going to go to the border areas and show solidarity to the people. Your take is, of course, that there's no need to escalate tensions. People should be allowed to get on with their harvesting. There should be no panic.
No, I'm not going to the border areas. I'm living in the border areas.
You're living in the border.
I've taken a house there and right in a village called Rajatal, which is not even 100 yards from the fencing. And I'm going to be there so that the people feel that what I'm saying is a fact. That there's nothing to fear, and I'm with you here, and I will remain with you till your harvesting is over.
So you're going to be there for the entire
No, first
1 week?
4 days. Now I have to come back because I have to run a party also. So and then I will go back. I'll keep doing that till the harvest is over.
Okay. Apart from that, we've noticed this year the campaign is a little. How is it different from your last campaign?
Well, it's we've this time got I asked for Prashantji, and Rahul and the Congress president were kind enough to give him to me. And he's planned our whole campaign. We've done doing an excellent job. We've done already one whole series all over Punjab. In 52 days, we covered the whole of Punjab block-wise. Now we've gone down to a Congress Express, in which we are doing 1,404 meetings in the next 37 days, covering 54 meetings a day.
So it's a more active campaign.
It's a very active campaign.
Look
and
at
then
the
from there
issues,
we will go
they are
then
the same as your issues. You're saying farmers loan waiver, you're saying electricity waiver, which is also what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying.
Well, we always had it.
They're copying you.
Farmers' debt waiver has been our issue from the very first day.
From UPA.
Do you know, in 2002, 2007, I waived the debt. Today we have about 60,000 crores worth of debt, and this is exactly what we are going to do. Rahul is doing this in UP, and we are going to take it up from there. We are going to demand it. There's 3 lakh crores which we have saved in the petroleum between the international prices and national prices, and we are saying that use that. If you can waive a lakh crore plus for industry, why can't you give this to our farmers and get them out of this mess once and for all?
And also, earlier on, I remember, I think way back in February, you were the first to say that Arvind Kejriwal is eyeing the chief ministership of Punjab. He wants to.
Of course, he's eyeing it.
He's still
but he's getting colder feet as the time passes, because he knows. Look, first thing happened after he came, 2 MPs broke. So it's 2 with him, 2 against him. Then he's tried to force people on us. There are 52 people who are looking after the organization of Punjab, all from outside Punjab, for Kejriwal. Sanjay Singh and Durgesh Pathak are the 2 heading that team. You don't find anyone from Punjab. You can't find anyone. That is why you suddenly had this Chotepur and all breaking away and making it into a Punjabi versus non-Punjabi fight. And therefore he's going to lose ground very fast, because Punjab is for Punjabis, and Punjabiyat, we can't let that go.
And we have a Punjab, the captain, sitting right here.
Well,
but there's also Jagmeet Brar who's joined. What about that?
He's not joined us.
Joined up. No?
Jagmeet Brar. less said about him, the better.
He's claiming to be someone who defeated Badal in 1999 or something. He's Farid.
1999, when how did we get him to win? He beat Sukhbir Badal. I was the Congress president and in Punjab, and Mrs. Gandhi was Congress president. I got her to do two. I got her to launch his campaign in Kotkapura, and then I got her to attend one more meeting for him. And with the greatest of and I went and campaigned all out against him because it was against Sukhbir, and we just managed to defeat Sukhbir. So these are things. What is his gain in it? He's fought 9 elections and won 2. So what is the big deal in it? And he's a highly indisciplined character, and that is why we had to take the stand. Mrs. Gandhi doesn't like taking such stands, but I pushed them because every day he was giving some statement. He gave a statement against the Congress president. He gave one against the vice president. They had to suspend him. He went and apologized. So they took him back. She's very soft-hearted in this. She took him back. And then he kept on giving these statements all the time. So eventually I said, enough is enough. You know, he's disturbing the peace in my party. And then they had to actually expel him. I would have expelled him, but he's an AICC member, so it's not in my jurisdiction.
Okay.
Had it been a PCC member, I would have thrown him out straight away.
Saved a lot of time. But is it true that you were also on the verge of leaving, and Rahul Gandhi in fact told you that if you leave, then neither you will win, neither we will win?
That's an old story. Let's leave that story behind. Now we are into a battle. Let's go on to that. That's many months ago. Over a year ago, let's say.
But then after that you got what you wanted.
Why do you want to bring in old stories? I know I'm a historian, military historian, but there's some things we can leave.
He's also a Congress historian. Okay, Prashant Kishore, he's always been saying that I will only lead a party. I believe in faces. His campaigns
That's
are
correct.
around.
He told me that in the beginning. He says, I don't sell parties, I sell people. And he said, I did that to Modi, I did that to Nitish, and I will do it for you. And he must have talked, because he went and finally the approval came from the Congress leadership. It was the vice president and the president. And he must have told them the same, and they must have given him the go-ahead. That's why it's happening. So the campaign is centered around me.
Centered around you, and I noticed you're also doing a lot. I know one interesting thing I saw, that you're doing these Skype chats with college girls, and you began initially. I don't know if you're still. I'm still doing it. How are you enjoying that? Because that's.
I'll tell you why I'm doing that.
For you.
No, I'll tell you why I'm doing it.
Technology friendly? Huh?
Because the girls are 50% of Punjab. You don't only they don't come to our meetings because these boys are there and then they tease them and all this sort of thing. So they don't like coming into these public meetings. So then we did Coffee with Captain. There they come. It's a different type of a crowd. Maybe 30% girls and 70% boys. But when you go to the public meetings and all, they don't come. And therefore we have to bring them in. And I've interacted with, I think, about 20-25 colleges.
My last question to you, I can't not have a congressman and not ask him this question, which is Rahul Gandhi. Is he, is he going to be elevated?
Absolutely. I'll tell you one thing. People who don't know him, I've had one-to-one meetings. So lots of things come out. He has everyone, you're not born a politician. I was not born a politician.
He's been work in progress for 10 years.
1 minute. When did you think I started? I started my first election in 1969. What are we now in?
And when did you become Chief Minister?
80. So, कितने साल हो गए? 80, not Chief Minister. My first MP, I became in 80. Then I became Chief Minister in 2002. कितने साल हो गए? So, you can't, you people, it's experience that tells. And I can tell you, I've known him earlier. I've known him
but
since
your grandfather was not ruling Punjab. You didn't have that addition in you. He's got that whole dynasty advantage.
Yeah, but when you're a little boy, you're not
interested
in what's going to happen in
politics,
what's happening in the country and all. You look after your own thing. You play with your games, and when you're a little boy, we all did the same. When did you become serious? You only become serious when you enter the field.
So and you want to know.
He's entered. So in due course he will come up. But I can tell you, very perceptive. Very understanding on all the points, and quick decision from him. I don't have to talk to him. I haven't met him for about 2 months, but I'm with every second day I'm through with him on the SMS, and I put a question and I get an answer. Now I think it's better than trouble. Why do you want to trouble somebody? You come here and you waste their time. They are doing so much on their own. Better to do 1 second on the phone and 1 second back.
No, fair enough. That communication part is you have.
And positive answers, not sitting on it. Let me think. Or let me not think.
So why is he not announcing your name sooner than later?
Anything that I want, I get an answer straight away, pat, on the phone.
Have you asked him why is he not announcing your name?
Why is he not announcing? Not my job to ask him that. That is for... look, anybody who is a political student When the whole campaign is centered around me, what does that indicate? So I think whether they say
But
yes.
look at poor Harish Rawat, no? we have examples where the person has done all the hard work. Congress also has a little bit of history of not rewarding the people who work hard.
No, I don't think so. I think Harish is a very popular figure in the organization. He's a very fine person.
Okay, well, we wish you all the luck, and we're going to keep
Thanks.
an eye on you. But thank you for talking to us.
Thanks, and keep a watchful eye.
Yes, watchful eye on the channel also. But that's
Okay.
it. Thank you for watching this show. We'll see you again same time next week.